And what is going on? It's the Burger and Badass Show, episode 40, and we are back from our little break that we had to take for WBLZ.
Hey, people got to get paid. Sponsors, advertisers, everybody except us, though. We're not getting paid. Not yet.
So before we get started back into the show, I have a couple announcements real quick. First off, happy birthday, Sarah.
Yes.
I want to give a shout out to Sarah. She was one of our listeners earlier. And I also want to give a shout out to Jamie. What's up, Jamie?
I was like, it's good to see we got more people jumping in. I'm liking this. The more people, the better. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Seriously.
So let's go ahead and jump into our next topic.
Yep.
The NCAA college football have released a preseason poll.
The early. This is what comes out every year before the NCAA kicks off for the season. You're forever going to get the preseason ranks. This is also actually what helps build for the ranked games right off the bat into the season because, let's face it, people want games that mean something. They don't want it 8 weeks from now. They want it right now. And the way you give it to them is by putting a number in front of it. I mean, how do you really assess that they're better? I mean, hell, I don't know. I'm not one of the talent scouts. But I know that Clemson won a national football title last year, and they're not ranked number one. But the people they beat, they are. So here we go. The list starts out with, guess fucking who? Alabama at number one.
Yep, we have Alabama at number one. Ohio State at number two.
No fucking respect whatsoever.
Number three of Florida State.
See?
Number four, USC.
None.
Number five, Clemson.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that.
They got a top five nod.
When Alabama won national titles, when the season came, did they get any fucking this bullshit?
Here we go.
No, they didn't.
Here we go.
Y'all just keep fucking hating on Clemson. We love that shit. We eat it for breakfast. Fucking thank you. On to the next one.
So, that was the top five. At 6, you have Penn State. Yes.
That's decent. I can understand that.
They definitely deserve to be there because...
After what they've been through. Yeah.
Insert joke right there, right?
No, yeah, insert something. It might not be a joke.
At number 7, you have Washington. This next one surprised me. At number 8, you have Oklahoma.
Yeah, me too, because Oklahoma's proven time and time again that they're a fraud when they get to the playoff. Sorry, they get blown out when they get there, if they can get there. And that's if their quarterback cannot be drunk as shit long enough to understand what he's doing. Last time we checked, Mr. Mayfield was apologizing for being a raging drunk dumbass. So, hey, good luck.
That and the fact that they lost their coach.
Yeah.
That's my big thing, is the fact they lost their coach. They have a new coach coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, not really coming in, but...
They should get Coach Bosworth.
You think so?
Yeah, hire Brian Bosworth. I think it's time for Coach Boz. The Boz is back. I think it's time.
Then at number 9, you have Michigan, which kind of surprised me that Michigan was not in front of Oklahoma.
I agree.
And then here's another team at 10 that I thought maybe should be up higher. Wisconsin.
Those cheese-eating bastards always win 10 games, and they do it in the most boring style of football possible. But that's what happens when you have like an offensive line that weighs 590 pounds each. I mean, the sons of bitches do nothing but eat cheese and lift weights.
That's it?
So, dude, the running back doesn't even really have to run. He's just got to just find wherever the hole is, because there's going to be one on them. You ever seen them play?
Oh, yeah.
Wisconsin's one of the most boring teams ever to watch play, but they do old school power eye football. Line it up and just run the goddamn ball down their throat until they can't take it anymore. And then play action, just to make sure you get really good and pissed off. So that's how it works.
So what do you think of the top 10?
I mean, all the right teams are there. I just don't agree with that order. I mean, I understand why their order isn't that way. I mean, they really are believing that Clemson's going to have a fall apart year because we lost, cheese, tan, lift. Yes. Cheese, tan, and lift. There you go. Yes. That's this. See, that's what they're doing in Wisconsin.
Jamie knows what's going on in Wisconsin.
Exactly. A whole lot of CTL. That's it. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to have Alabama at the top. I mean, just That's the way the polls always work.
So long as Nick Saban's there, yes, that's for real.
Ohio State, they're going to be good again. We will all agree with that.
Well, but you say that. Last time I watched Ohio State play, I watched Clemson just straight push their shit in.
Yeah.
I mean, bad. Like, it wasn't even close. It was prison style. It was bad.
Florida State.
They were grabbing a hold of their knuckles and showing them love, bro. It was bad.
And then we have two teams that played against each other last year that are in the top, 6. And that's Penn State and USC.
I tell you what, out of all those teams, I think USC is credibly the one that should be number one in my book. Because personally, I think USC is going to be your national champion. A lot of people are just like, you're crazy. No way. And yes, that might sound crazy, but USC's been kind of under the radar for a long time, ever since all that Reggie Bush scandal and Pete Carroll and leaving the program in shambles. They've kind of come back. They've been getting all the recruits. They've just been quiet about doing it. And I think they're back. I think you're going to see the Trojans start finally bringing that glory back to Southern California because it's been a while. And I don't think anybody's really not wanting that in the football world because let's face it, when USC's really good, when Penn State's really good, when Michigan's good, when Ohio State's good, that's really, really good for NCAA football. I mean, you don't want the likes of Baylor and TCU becoming your flagship programs. I mean, no offense to y'all down there, but you're not any of the four aforementioned teams. So,
and the only other big gripe I have about the top 10 is Oklahoma being up there.
Yeah.
I don't think Oklahoma belongs up there because I look at 9, I look at 10, Michigan and Wisconsin. Both of those teams definitely, I think, deserve to be higher than Oklahoma.
I'd put 11 and 13 ahead of Oklahoma.
I'm even looking at 11 through 15, and I'm seeing most of those teams probably should be above Oklahoma themselves.
Agreed.
So at number 11, you have Oklahoma State, who was, our big surprise last year. We kept saying how great Oklahoma State was and how they were so great at playing hard-nosed football. And
they like contact. Oklahoma State likes contact.
Grinding it out and, airing it out and getting into shootouts if they have to. And they're able to score a bunch of points, but they're also able to pull it in and play defense and stop them and only give up, 10, 15, 10, 14, 21 points. But they also can go wild and can go into a big wild,
shootout at the OK Corral.
Yeah, shootout at the OK Corral where you're going to turn around and, have a 70-68 game.
Hey, listen, that's the kind of football people want to see, though. I mean, am I wrong? People want to see touchdowns.
Oh, I loved it last year when Oklahoma State played.
I mean, am I wrong? We took Oklahoma State, I think, about 7 times last year.
And all they did
against the point spread, and we were with the point spread, and we picked Oklahoma State at least 7 times. I think only one time that cost us a victory. Yeah, only once. We were 6-1 picking Oklahoma State. So we will certainly be watching them again because we like their head coach. We like the team attitude, their demeanor. They like to hit people. I mean, we're big fans of teams that like hitting each other. We don't like watching these teams that just, we don't want to do contact. What do you mean? You're playing fucking football. What the hell do you mean you don't want to contact? That's the point. I mean, am I wrong in that?
No.
I didn't think so.
Not at all.
But let's go ahead and keep going down the list.
At number 12, you have LSU.
The Bayou Bengals, man. Everyone keeps saying that Ed Orgeron's got them back because they're being all quiet and sneaky and secretive down there in Baton Rouge. But I don't know, man. We'll see.
At 13 is Auburn.
See, Auburn, that's a sleeper team right there.
I'm telling you.
And look, Clemson Nation, don't be pissed when you hear this. Put on your reasonable fucking hat right now. We might lose that game, okay? Let's be realistic here. They're bringing a very experienced team to the table. We beat them last year in a hard game, and we had a way better team last year than we're going to have this year offensively. Now, our defense might keep us in that game, but they're going to have 2,000-yard rushers and a really good quarterback attacking us. So get ready. That's not going to be a cakewalk like all you think it is. It's just not. It's not.
If I'm not mistaken, if you were running the tapes and everything, I think when we were going over the schedule for this season, I said Auburn, they could actually lose to Auburn.
Oh, God, yeah. No, we both said that was a realistic loss.
Yeah, I could definitely see.
Like, are we going to lose to Kent State? Fuck
no, not at all.
Could we lose to Auburn? Yeah, it's possible. I mean, will we? Probably not. But could we? Hell yeah. No shit.
At number 14, you have Stanford.
Stanford's always a
They're-
perennial
they're-
top 20 team.
They're always up there.
Always. They got a good coach in Shaw. They're disciplined. They're very strong, big, athletic team. They always have a stout line on both sides of the ball. You're always going to see Stanford at the top in that mix. Always.
Then at 15, you have actually a surprise team.
Georgia.
Georgia.
My wife's team.
You know what? They've been quietly building up down there. Like they've been quiet about it. They're a lot like LSU.
Kirby Smart's going about business pretty sweet. Kirby Smart's being what? Seriously though, he is.
He's smart because look what he's been doing down there recruiting wise.
He's been getting real quiet and sneaky.
He's slowly recruiting all the good guys and taking these like not the great guys, but he's taking these good guys, these 4 stars, these 3-star guys, and he's slowly building a program down there. And I'm telling you, Georgia's going to be a team to reckon with next year or two.
Georgia has a natural recruiting hotbed of talent, and for a good while now, all other programs, i.e. Clemson, Alabama, LSU, Florida, Florida State, all these other really good teams have been going into Georgia and just plucking players that they want at will. And that used to not be the case. Like if Georgia wanted an in-state player, they forget it. They had him. Y'all need to get back to that. I mean, we came into your state and took Deshaun Watson from you. Suck the fuck on that, man. Y'all could have had Deshaun Watson.
Can you imagine that?
Right?
Can you imagine if Georgia had Deshaun Watson?
Right? That's what I'm saying. I'm glad you didn't, though.
I'm not
complaining.
sure. But see, the thing about it is, I don't know if he'd have enough around him like he did at Clemson to win a championship down in Georgia.
Nah, Georgia's got a lot of good talent. The problem is they've not been executing with the talent here recently. I mean, they've been having more problems than they've been having, checkoffs like down there. Like you always go down the list. Are my players academically sound? Are my players being good off the field? Well, no, because the running joke is 3 Georgia players are in a car. Who's driving? The state trooper. So I mean, it's your program's known for getting a bunch of DAs in there doing dumb shit all the time. So you got to get it under control. Mark Richt left y'all kind of in a I don't know. He won games, but he didn't really do anything great with you. And that's the thing. Georgia needs to get over that hump. It's been a while, and I know Georgia fans want that because you're talking about a powerful program. They're not used to not being in the spotlight.
I'm seeing definitely big thing for Georgia in the next year or two.
No, I think in the next 3-4 years you might see them playing for a title. Absolutely.
I think in the next 2 years they could be up in the playoff race.
This is possible.
At 16, you have Florida, which is kind of interesting because you have that Notre Dame quarterback, that
Malik Zaire,
that transferred over there. They're saying he could possibly be starting down there.
He will.
You think so?
Are you serious? Yeah, hell yeah. Well, Florida's offense is anemic as shit. If you watch Florida play, their defense will turn your lights out, but their offense couldn't move the ball 3 yards if you just backed off the line and let them run the play without interruption. They suck that bad.
I think you said that last year when we were doing our picks.
Like, dude, I liken Florida to the guy who has a $100 bill hanging out his crotch in a Mississippi whorehouse, can't find a piece of pussy. That's their offense. You could literally step out of the way and be like, you can run the play free of obstruction. If you can get it into the end zone, you can have the touchdown. They will still find a way to fuck it up. I'm dead serious. Dead serious.
What do you think about Florida's chances this year?
I think Florida is going to be stout on defense again. They have no quarterback, even in Malik Zaire. He's been away from the game. He's coming into a system he doesn't really know that well against SEC defenses that are going to be ready to eat his lunch. I see Georgia, when they go to the largest outdoor cocktail party, Georgia versus Florida, I see Georgia beating the living shit out of Florida, like bad. I see them finishing better, and honestly, I see Florida taking a nice tumble because your defense is lights out and it is good, but if you can't score but 10 points a game at best, you're not gonna win. I'm sorry, your defense is that good. You're not gonna stop offenses like Clemson or offenses like Florida State's. You're not gonna stop them from scoring 21-28. You're just not. They're too damn good. Yeah, you're not gonna stop them from scoring. You can only hope to marginally slow them down. And if all you can do is 10 points, I'll take my chances against you any day. Florida Gators ain't what they were under Timmy Tebow. Mm.
Oh no, they're nowhere close to me where they were at Timmy.
No, they lost touchdown Jesus, and that was it.
Then at 17 and 18, you have two ACC teams.
I see this.
At 17, you have Louisville.
Which is way too low down the list. Come on.
See, I was thinking the same thing.
Like, Louisville could have been like number 11, and that would have been acceptable.
Like, definitely top 15. Not a top 10.
No, not quite a top 10, but they got Lamar Jackson, and trust me, he's still good. It's not like he fell off the wagon and he sucks. I mean, he's going to be right back to his usual self. I mean, I don't know if he's going to be running roughshod over everybody again because everyone's ready for that, but still, good luck containing him. He's a talent. I mean, you saw what he did here against Clemson.
He's very talented.
Hell yes, he is.
Educated, not as much.
But talented.
But very talented on the field.
Yes.
Book smart? No, not at all.
Well, see, I don't know about his academia. I can't attest to his grades.
I can't either. I'll be honest with you.
You're just a Lamar Jackson hater.
No, I'm not a Lamar Jackson hater. I'm just saying, or maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that when you hear him talk in interviews, he sounds uneducated. I'm just saying. To me, he sounds uneducated. He doesn't sound like a very smart man.
It's not like listening to Deshaun Watson speak. I can attest to that. I'll give you that.
And then at 18, you have Miami.
Now, see, Miami's one of those teams where Miami's going to do one of two things this season. They're going to shock everybody, and they're going to finally win their part of the ACC and maybe play for an ACC championship. Or what I think is going to happen, what the majority of everybody in the country thinks is going to happen, they're just going to take another big fat shit, and they're going to be instead of the U, they're the who.
All I'm saying is, shout out to my boy Pharrell on CBS Radio. He agrees with me. I think they're bound for glory this year. I think they're winning their side of the ACC, and they're going to fight for a championship. They're not going to win it, because they're either going to have to play Florida State, Louisville, or Clemson. And they almost beat Florida State. Last time they played Clemson, they got their ass smacked.
Bad. In fact, I think we hung the worst beating on y'all you've taken ever in your history. Oh, yeah, we did.
Why you got to bring up old news?
Hey, I'm just saying, the last time our two programs met,
yes,
I remember Dabo bought donuts from Krispy Kreme for everybody because they straight goose egged y'all in your own house. I mean, we just walked the dog on you.
Is it in this poster back behind me?
I'm pretty sure it is. Oh, yeah, it is. October 24th at Miami in the Gardens. Guess what the final score was? Oh, yeah, 58-0. Clemson all up in that ass.
That was during a rebuilding year. I'm telling you.
Oh, yes. Rebuilding year.
I'm just saying,
yeah.
Miami is improving. Look what they did last year. Last year, they weren't expected to do as well as what they did. And they did very well.
I'll agree with that.
They did stumble in the midseason when they played some of their tougher opponents, but they did bounce back after that.
Maybe Mark Richt is the answer. We'll find out in the next 3 years, Miami.
They're another team I think they should be up a little bit higher than what they are.
I'd maybe give them to like the top 15, but nothing above it.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should be top 15.
Right.
So then at 19, you have a team that we know a lot about. We picked them a lot last year because, again, we said they played very well at home.
They're scrappy as hell.
They're scrappy as hell.
Smart.
And they're smart, and that's Kansas State.
They have a damn good coach in Snyder. He knows football. In fact, he's forgotten more football than we'll ever learn. That's not a joke. It's not a, hyperbole. It's not anything. Whatever the hell you want to call it. It's just the truth. Man is pretty smart. He's the only man coaching consistently where he can score with his special teams just as often as his offense or his defense. They're really talented. They're detailed, very detail-oriented, especially when they're planning on defense and special teams, because that's how they get kickoff returns for touchdowns. That's how they get punt returns for touchdowns. That's how they actually scoop up fumbles. And they are very well adept to the nature of the game because they have a very good coach who literally, this man could coach anywhere, and he's a 10 winner. The man's good. He's got a lot of disciples in the game. A lot of people come from his coaching tree. His program is sound. When have you ever heard about Kansas State players getting caught doing anything illegal?
I can't remember a time.
That's right. I'll wait because you haven't. The man is smart. He will take 3 stars and beat your 5 stars, and you will wonder how the fuck it just happened. And it's because they play a different brand of football. It's very cerebral.
So my question is for Kansas State, what gets them over that hump? Because right now they're a team that they're a top 20 team, but they're not a top 10 team. They're not a team that's up there that's going to be fighting for a championship.
They're missing a marquee quarterback. If they had that, it could be possible.
You think so?
Yes. With all championships comes a championship caliber quarterback, unless in rare instances you have one side of the ball that's so damn good it can carry the other. Kind of like Trent the Dildo Dilfer in Baltimore. He sucked out loud as a quarterback, but Baltimore carried him on that defense.
Oh, yeah.
In college, it's a lot harder. It's very rare, but for the most part in the college game, you need that marquee quarterback. Without him, it's almost impossible. Yeah. Unless you're Alabama, who can take game managers and win because the entire team is sound. But when you're living in reality with the rest of us where you actually can't have that luxury, which I can't say any of that for Clemson anymore because we do, but if you're like the other programs who aren't top tier all the, you can't have that luxury all the time. So when you do get it, you're like, oh, hell yes. But you got to have it. You need a quarterback. It's a quarterback-driven league.
And you know what comes with that quarterback job? Leadership.
Lots of it.
And that's a big thing to me, is a locker room needs a leader. Somebody that's going to stand up when your team's down and you need that one person to just get up and be like, give one of those, varsity blues speeches like James Vanderbeek gave at the end of Varsity Blues.
Correct.
When you need a guy like that, you need a leader that's going to step up, a quarterback who's going to step up and say, guys, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to quit bullshitting, we need to start playing good ball, we need to quit turning the ball over, get them all hyped up and get the team going. You need that leader in your locker room. And I agree with you. I think Kansas State's missing that. But I think, that's one key. I think there's a couple keys for Kansas State. I still think, they need a few more keys on defense. And they need a few more keys on offense. I mean, their defense is good, but, I just think you just need a smidget, just a little bit better to play teams like Alabama, like Florida State, top tier teams. When you're playing teams like that, you just need to turn your defense up just a little bit more. Offense, I think, a couple wide receivers and a good running back, and that team, and a good quarterback, and that team will be set.
I heard that.
At number 20, we have our boys from Country Roads, West Virginia. At number 21, we have South Florida. At 22, we have Virginia Tech. At number 23, we have Texas.
The Longhorns, finally.
That's kind of surprised me a little bit.
Same here.
I didn't expect them to be up that high that quickly.
Oh, God, me neither, no.
And then you have, at 24, you have Tennessee, which kind of surprised me a little bit.
I don't think, we'll see. I mean, they had a flash of brilliance last year. That was about it.
Yeah, I just don't know how good they're going to be this year. I don't know. To me, they're not a top 25 team.
No.
I think there's other teams that could definitely be in the top 25.
I think Utah should have been above them.
Oh, definitely.
And they're the ones that rounded it out at 25.
Maybe even Temple.
Yeah, seriously. I'd even put Temple ahead of them. Or
Temple
even Western Michigan.
Yeah, Temple played good ball last year.
Hell yes.
So what did you think of the top 25?
I thought the top 25 was rather accurate, except for the placings of a couple teams. But you know what? As an overall list, it was sound. The names on it were correct.
See, I agree. I definitely think the placement on some of them were off a little bit. I think some teams that were higher should have been lower, and I think some teams that were lower should have been up a little bit higher than what they are.
Right.
And honestly, I don't think Tennessee or South Florida should have made the list.
Okay, I can understand
I'm just
that.
not impressed with South Florida or Tennessee. And Texas was another big surprise for me. I know that he's going to do the having the new coach down there, and he's going to do big things.
Oh, Herman's going to be really awesome.
Herman's going to be awesome for him, but
yes.
It just, to me, I thought it would take him a year, maybe 2, to get that program up and moving before they started making noise.
No, hell no. Texas is ready. They finally got their man. Seriously, Texas has been waiting for Tom Herman for like 3 years. They've just been literally waiting in the wings, like just thieves. Like, oh yes, he's available. Get him. Like they trust me. They were ready.
So we're only a few weeks away from the first week of football.
Yes.
Can you believe it?
You know what? We are 24 days away from Clemson football.
Is that what it is? 24 days?
24 days. In fact, should have had the calendar right here. If I was get a Clemson calendar, we can mark it off.
So we have 3 weeks and 3 days.
Yes.
Wow. That's like right around the corner. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to do a top 10 NCAA football games to watch in week 1. We each came up with a list of top 10s. And, you know, our lists are pretty close in general. We have a couple games that he has on his list that I don't have on my list, and I have ones on my list that he don't have on his list. But, you know, it's going to be interesting. You know, besides the placement, we have most of the games on, you know, the same list.
For the most part, yes.
Just different spots.
Correct.
So let's go ahead. I want to start off with my honorable mentions. I know you didn't do honorable mention.
Correct.
But I had 2 honorable mentions. My first one was Maryland at Texas. You know, and that game is on Saturday at 12 o'clock. And, you know, I'm just interested to see what Texas has. You know, having a new coach and new program down there. I'm interested to see what they have. And Maryland, you know, Maryland has a tendency to play tough. You know, they're not the greatest team. They're not going to win 8-9 games, but they always play you tough.
True.
And then my other honorable mention, which I know I'm going to get a lot of flack from you.
See, he's no better than the fucking people that make the damn preseason list. His honorable mention is Clemson. The fucking national title defending Clemson.
See?
Yeah.
Hold on. I want to defend
myself. And they're
myself.
not even in the top 10 of his picks.
Hold on. I want to defend myself on this.
Please do. The people are waiting.
They're playing Kent State at Clemson Saturday at noon. All I'm saying is, if they were playing Auburn at Clemson opening week, I'd say, you know what, that definitely makes my top 10. But they're playing Kent State. They're going to smoke Kent State. The possibility of them losing to Kent State is like the possibility of me winning the lottery. It's just not going to happen.
But it's the returning champions.
I understand
on that alone, like, how do you play? Like, hold on, what you have Michigan and Florida ahead of that. What did either of them do last year other than not make it anywhere?
They were up there for a while.
But did either of them win a championship?
No.
Boom.
But they're playing harder teams. They're playing Kent State. I could get 12 guys off of the streets that could play better ball than Kent State.
Man, you tell that to App State too, and all these other Troy and good. These teams that would be like, oh, okay, we're not but a bunch of pushovers, are we?
No, there's a difference with App State and Troy. They're actually programs that are actually starting to build up a little bit.
That could actually beat you on a
Kent
good day.
State is not a program not going anywhere.
I mean, I understand your logic, but
Kent
damn,
State
man.
program is going about as far as Kentucky football.
No love for Clemson, y'all. This is insane.
No, I have love for Clemson. Don't get it twisted. I have love for Clemson. I just can't put them in a top 10 when they're playing Kent State. I just have no respect for that. Like you're starting your season off against a scrub. I mean, that's like Rocky Balboa after he won a championship, turned around and fought a bunch of scrubs.
I guess he doesn't understand why Clemson plays these lower teams so that they can make money.
No,
they don't make money otherwise.
I understand that. But when you open your season, you're a defending champion. I mean, look at Alabama.
How is Alabama doing themselves any favors by opening against Florida State? In fact, I'm taking the Walt Deptula approach on this.
Here we go.
You are a dumbass if you believe that by scheduling a harder team in the very front of your schedule is going to somehow help you in the long run. Only if you go undefeated. Because let me tell you something. Either Florida State or Alabama is going to lose that game. And the uphill battle for the team that loses is going to be fucking surmountable. I want you to understand that. You're not doing yourselves any favors by scheduling one of those brutal teams right up the front. You're not.
I got 3 initials for you. You ready? SOS. You know what SOS stands for? Strength of schedule.
Exactly. And you know what? That does you no good unless you win all your games. That hurts you if you don't.
But if you're one of them teams that are right on the outskirts and could possibly get voted in at the last minute, that strength of schedule could actually give you that extra little push to push you across that line for the committee when they make that decision and say, hey, you know what? Look, they played 5 teams that were a top 25 team. That's pretty good. Now let's look at Ohio State. Oh, you know what? Ohio State only had 3 teams with top 25.
Strength of schedule really helped Penn State last year and really helped Ohio State screw them too, didn't it?
I'm not saying the system's not flawed.
And that is your argument in practice.
I'm not saying the system's not flawed. Trust me. It's flawed. They just need to bump it up and move to a 8 teams playoff.
Oh, here's what I know. If I have a 12-game season and I want to run the table and I stand a better chance at doing it and having Kent State as my first opponent, I'll take that because I believe Clemson always opens with a cupcake. And what did we do last year? Oh, we won a national title.
Well, why wouldn't you guys open up against somebody from the ACC?
Because that's not how they schedule the games. That's not up to Clemson. You're blaming Clemson for a schedule in which we don't make the schedule.
Look, I'm not blaming Clemson. I'm just saying whoever's doing the scheduling, I just don't agree with them playing Kent State to start the season off. I'm just saying their national championship team play somebody from the ACC. Play a Georgia Tech.
I can get down with that.
Play a Virginia Tech.
But believe me, by scheduling someone right up front, it's not helping you. In fact, it is most certainly, if you look at the odds, it's a hindrance. Because if you do lose that first game against a really good opponent, you're starting out 0-1. And then I'll posit this scenario too. You lose to that opponent, you start 0-1, they start out hot, and they win a bunch of games, they look really good, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, that loss you took was from a good team. What happens when you catch fire and they start losing, and then all of a sudden the quality of that win looks shittier and shittier? That kills you down the stretch. Believe me, the only reason I argue this is because they've been arguing the same thing in Clemson for years, and they've been telling them, you're not doing yourselves any favors. Think about it. We opened against Georgia, and Georgia opened against us. Back to back. We did that, and they won one, and we won one. And the year that they won one, it did us no favors to do that.
Now, see, what I'm thinking is that looking at the big game, we all know it. It's Florida State, Alabama.
Oh,
week
God,
1.
yes. Oh, yeah, no, that's the number 1 on both our lists.
Yeah. That game right there, that's going to make or break. Like, looking at that team, at both of those teams, if you look at them, it's been really interesting because I truly think whoever wins this game is going to go upward. Whoever loses this game, they're probably losing 2 or 3 or 4 games this season.
It's going to put them on a skid, probably. The chances are likely the loser's going to hit a skid.
Because, I mean, if Florida State loses this game, I can also see them losing to Louisville. I could also see them losing to Clemson. That's 3 losses right there.
If Florida State wins this game, it gives them the juggernaut juice against the other ACC team. Oh, we just took down Bama. We'll take you down. But like you said, you lose to them, you just lit a fire under the other team's ass to put it on you even harder.
You know, and it makes it tougher for the other team that loses because now you're 0-1. Bama goes 0-1, and then they have the strength of the SEC they have to play, which I'm telling you, SEC is no joke.
Think about it. You start out 0-1. Either of those squads start 0-1, which one of them's going to.
Yeah, one of them's going to start 0-1.
Florida State gets to play Louisville, and they get to play Clemson, whereas Bama gets to play Auburn, LSU, Ole Miss. We're talking about hard teams to beat. The chances of you running the table I'm telling you, it's not easy, man. That's why it does you no good to do that. Like Florida State and Alabama are the 2 most heavily disadvantaged because of it.
So I think we should go ahead and jump into our top 10 now that I did the honorable mention.
Oh, yeah.
And I got all the flack for not putting Clemson in my top 10.
Correct.
So what we're going to do is we're just going to go back and forth. I'm going to do my 10. You're going to do 10. We'll keep going through until we get number 1.
Correct.
So at number 10, I have Cal at North Carolina, Saturday at 12:30.
And at number 10, I have the USC Trojans versus the Western Michigan Broncos.
See, I missed that game. I didn't realize USC was playing Western Michigan.
I
actually overlooked that game.
Pretty good matchup.
That is a good matchup. I would have definitely put that in my top 10.
See, that's why I was wondering. I was like, he must have missed it.
I missed it. Because normally I wouldn't miss. I mean, Western Michigan, they had that stellar season last year. And, of course, we all know what happened with USC.
Right.
So, Cal, North Carolina, just to me, for some reason, when I was going through the list, I was looking at this game, and it just, for some reason, it just tickled my balls a little bit.
I think California's going to win.
Because North Carolina is not going to be as good as what they were last year. And Cal was halfway decent last year. So, to me, Cal is traveling all the way to North Carolina. They're going cross country, which kind of sucks. But the good thing is it's the beginning of the year.
Correct.
So you're not getting like a shortened, week.
You're rested.
You're rested up. So go ahead and move on to my number 9. I have Ohio State at Indiana, Thursday at 8 o'clock. And to me, this game was interesting because Ohio State, they're expecting big things out of Ohio State this year. And for some reason, I don't know why, but Indiana always likes to play spoiler. I don't know what it is with Indiana, but last year they like to play spoiler. They did a number on us a couple times. So, especially at home. So that game scares me a little bit because I think Ohio State will win this game, but I don't think they're going to win as heavy as what people think they will.
Probably not. Because, see, I have the same game. I have Ohio State Buckeyes
Really?
versus the Indiana Hoosiers at number 9. And the reason that this game made it is because Indiana is a piss-poor football team. They're not worth watching, but Ohio State is. And I want to see how they come back from that beating that Clemson gave them. I want to see if Urban Meyer's head's still in the game because, boy, he looked like a deer in headlights during that game. And that's the last time we saw this squad. I want to see if they've improved. Let's see if we lit a fire under their ass.
My number 8 is Temple at Notre Dame, Saturday at 3:30.
And my number 8 is West Virginia Mountaineers versus the Virginia Tech Hokies.
I actually have that game, but it's higher on my list.
Correct.
Because I like just the simple fact that they're starting the season off with a rival game.
Hell yes.
I love that. So I had to put it up a little higher. The reason why I took Temple Notre Dame is because, one, Notre Dame had an awful season last year, and this year, Kelly's on the hot seat starting the season off.
You better believe it. And
So,
if he's not at Notre Dame, what the fuck are you doing?
And then you have Temple, who Temple had their ups and downs last year, but they were a really, really decent team.
And how much you want to beat Temple? Temple can actually beat Notre Dame.
I think Temple actually might beat Notre Dame here.
I do too.
I'm curious to see what the point spread is. At number 7, I have Tennessee versus Georgia Tech, Monday at 8 o'clock at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
And at number 7, I have the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes versus the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
So the reason why I chose Tennessee at Georgia Tech is just a simple fact. It's the ACC versus the SEC matchup. Tennessee's, they're not great, but they're decent. And Georgia Tech's the same way. So I think, you have two mediocre teams, but you're going to have a good football game. So to me, I thought this game was going to be interesting. Just simple fact is, you're probably going to have a defensive battle between these two teams. It's going to be low scoring. It's probably going to be like 21-14, 21-17, maybe even 14-10. But, it's going to be a good battle.
See, I had this game higher up on the list, and the only reason why is because I truly believe that this one game is going to determine how the two seasons are going to go. And this is why. I want to see if Tennessee's defense can stop the running attack of Georgia Tech, because Georgia Tech's going to run triple option at you, and they're going to... Why is the camera blurry?
I don't know. Don't worry about it.
There we go.
It'll bounce back.
There we go. But the problem is that Georgia Tech's going to run the ball. That triple option is dangerous. If you're not ready for it and don't know how to defend it, and you're not disciplined with your eyes, you are going to get beat with it. And I'm ready to see it, because if Georgia Tech can have a success in running the ball, then we're going to see them have a good year. But I really do think that this is going to be kind of like a view into the season for both teams. That's why I had it up pretty high. But on the Tulsa Golden Hurricanes and the Oklahoma State Cowboys game, I chose that at number 7 simply because Oklahoma State has been a good team for us. We like to choose them. We like picking with them with our picks, with the gambling, because, hey, they're pretty consistent. And Tulsa is one of those small teams like Temple. They can just whoop your ass out of nowhere because no one takes them serious. But they do have really good talent down there. And that's exactly why I chose that one, because those are two teams that a lot of people don't know about, and they need to.
At number 6, I have BYU versus LSU, Saturday at 9:30 at NRG Stadium.
And at number 6, I have the Kent State Golden Flashes versus the Clemson Tigers.
See, I understand why you put it up there that high.
No, actually, that's not high. That's number 6. That's honestly, I was objective about where I put it on the list, because if I'd have been actually being a subjective Tigers fan, it'd have been number 1. But I actually put it where it belonged on the list because, yes, it is Kent State, but Clemson is the defending national champion. I mean, I'm sorry. That alone merits they make the top 10. Alone.
See, that's where we disagree. But
No, see, because you know what, people? I'll posit this to you. If this were Notre Dame that we were talking about being a returning national champion, it wouldn't matter if they were playing your mom's asshole. This dick would make sure that they made the top 10 list because it's Notre Dame being a returning national champion. Bet on that. Yeah, he knows I'm right, too.
The reason why I took BYU and LSU is because, one, BYU is our Mormons, our golden Mormons.
The Golden Hats. We love them, dude.
And I just love the fact that, BYU, they're another one of them scrappy, tough teams. And they're going against LSU, who's another scrappy team that everybody expects big things from this year. So, to me, I think this is going to be an all-out battle. I think BYU and LSU, they're going to have a fight for maybe the first 3 quarters. And I think maybe LSU might pull away a little bit in the end. But this game, for some reason, I just think that, BYU being a scrappy team, LSU being a scrappy team, both being scrappy teams, I think it's going to be one hell of a game.
BYU has that special thing with their Mormon camps where their men go off to their little, I guess, sabbaticals. I don't know what you call them, their missions. They get to come back and play football after they're done, which means they got 23, 24-year-old grown-ass men on their football teams. This is why they're so damn scrappy. And they're going to give LSU all they can handle, because LSU, believe me, their line's well stacked, well met. But I think we're going to see LSU get the better of BYU in this one simply because it's closer to home. And I think they're the better team, but don't get it twisted. It's not going to be easy. Because LSU, remember, was supposed to beat Wisconsin to open the season last year, too. You saw how that went.
At number 5, we have Texas A&M at UCLA. I have Texas A&M at UCLA, Sunday at 7:30.
And at number 5, I had the NC State Wolfpack versus the South Carolina Gamecocks with a little cross-battle action across the state lines.
I actually have that game on my list, but I've actually put it higher, just for that simple fact.
I heard that.
I took Texas A&M versus UCLA because both of them are really good. Both have really good squads. Texas A&M showed a lot last year.
They did.
They had a lot of ups. A few downs.
Great receiving core.
Great receiving core. Great quarterback. They're coming back year 2. They're missing some pieces, but they still have enough there that they could definitely make some noise. And UCLA is just UCLA. They're always going to fight you no matter what.
I heard that.
At number 4, I had West Virginia versus Virginia Tech, Sunday at 7:30 at FedEx Stadium.
And at number 4, I have the Michigan Wolverines versus the Florida Gators. And the reason that I have this game on there is because it's two powerful programs with history. I want to see how they meet. I want to see how Harbaugh responds. And honestly, I just want to see a little bit of offense out of Florida. My God. That's it.
At number 3, I have NC State versus South Carolina, Saturday at 3 o'clock at Bank of America Stadium.
At number 3, I have the Texas A&M Aggies versus the UCLA Bruins.
See, we were very close in our list.
Yes.
You had Texas A&M, UCLA at what, 3, and I had it at 5. I had West Virginia, Virginia Tech at 4. You had them at where?
8.
At 8.
Yep.
I had NC State at South Carolina at 3, and you had them at 5.
Yep.
So we were really close on our list.
Oh, absolutely.
But NC State, South Carolina, South Carolina, they'll play it tough.
They will.
As much as I hate admitting that, Dose, they're tough. They're another one of them tough teams. And NC State, they're scrappy.
South Carolina is going to be defensively a horrible football team this year. I mean, just absolutely atrocious on defense. Y'all are going to be garbage. People are going to be hanging a lot of points on you. But good thing is your offense is really good, and you're going to score a lot of points too. So all hope's not lost to you Gamecock fans. And look at that. I'm being nice. I'm not calling you a bunch of cousin fucking bastards. Oh, wait. I guess I did.
Well, that's because the season hasn't started yet.
Oh, I know. Just you wait, motherfuckers.
At number 2, I have Michigan versus Florida. Saturday, 3:30 at Arlington Stadium.
At number 2, I have the Tennessee Volunteers versus the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. Simply for the reasons I stated earlier. I think that one game is going to decide how those seasons go for both of those teams.
And then, of course, at number 1, I have Florida State versus Alabama. Saturday, 8 o'clock at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
That's the showdown, my friends. We want to see exactly how it goes.
So that's our top 10 list. And, like I said, most of our list was pretty close. We had the same number 1, and then for the most part on the list, we just had different spots for different teams.
Correct.
So it's now time for that part of the show where we do our lightning round. And in case you guys are new to the show, that's where we take 5 topics that we don't get a chance to really do big stories about, and we just want to do a little bit about them. So we do 1 minute, talk about it, and then we move on at the end of 1 minute. We don't keep talking. 1 minute, the buzzer sounds, we're done. So we'll go ahead and jump in with the lightning round.
Just a second, my friend.
All right.
And we are a go.
All right, topic number 1 for the lightning round. Florida State University has announced that wide receiver Devontae Phillips has been indefinitely suspended from the team after his arrest for 5 third-degree felony counts of intent to defraud or grand theft.
He was seen on video doing some very sketchy shit with like Western Union and MoneyGrams. I'm not entirely sure about the details of what he's doing or what he did, but apparently it's bad enough to where Alabama just said bye. And usually Alabama doesn't kick the people off the team for doing bad shit.
Florida State.
Oh, it's Florida State?
Yeah, Florida State.
Florida State, Alabama, same fucking difference. They let their players get away with murder. Seriously, though. No shit. Florida State has no choice. They're not going to go through another Jameis Winston.
You can't let a guy have 5 third-degree felony counts and then keep a guy on the team. It's not plausible.
No.
You can't do that. I mean, once you commit something like that, your career is over. All right, topic number 2. Former Major League Baseball player and all-star catcher for the Philadelphia Phillies, Darren Dutch Dalton died August 6th at the age of 55 from brain cancer, which he's been battling for the last 4 years. That's a really sad story because I remember watching him play. I don't know if you remember watching him play
Before my time. He was before my time, but I know my Uncle Jerry was a great big fan of Darren Dalton. I know a lot of people were, because apparently he was that, like, tough, hard-nosed, like, Philly-style kind of guy.
He was, and he was a good ball player. Definitely Hall of Fame material.
So, I mean, it is kind of sad to hear that, because, whenever a good guy goes, a legend, everyone's sad, because it makes you bring back all the good memories.
Cancer claimed another one.
As it will, my friends, as it always certainly will.
All right, topic number 3. Oakland A's outfielder Matt Joyce has been suspended for 2 games following an incident where he used several profanities and anti-gay slurs against a fan that were heckling back and forth.
I can just hear it now. Like, I'm not going to lie to you people. And I'm sorry if your little sensitive ears can't take it. But I'm sure that fan was going, hey, you fucking suck, Joyce. He turned around and said, fuck you, faggot. That's probably exactly what happened. And you know what? He's probably been hearing it all game. He's tired of hearing it. He gave it right back to the fan. But sadly, we live in a world where everyone's PC and pussy, and you can't say anything no more because, my God, someone might cry and get offended.
You know, and that you're right. And people nowadays, you know, when something like that happens, look at the whole thing with the New Jersey governor.
Right.
Being filmed. People film that shit and see that and put it on media. Oh, you got to do something about it.
And then you get roasted by the court of common opinion, and like,
Yeah,
that's what I got for the court of common fucking opinions right there.
the PG police. All right, topic number 4. Former Denver Broncos quarterback, and Chicago Bears quarterback Jay Cutler will be coming out of retirement for a $10 million one-year contract with the Miami Dolphins. We all know where this is going due to Cutler's history with head coach Adam Gase.
He's a fucking fan favorite, teacher's pet, whatever you want to call it. Brown nose. He's got a job with Adam Gase because Gase wants him to fit his system, and he went out and got him. And we all know where this is going. Would anybody like to take bets on Miami actually being a 500 team right now? Please. I'm right here ready to take your motherfucking money.
All I'm saying is, Cutler's a cancer.
Has been.
Always been a cancer. He was a cancer in Denver.
Cancer
he was a
at
cancer in
Vanderbilt.
Chicago.
He was a cancer
in Vanderbilt.
Seriously.
That guy is not going to be able to have a good career in Miami. Topic number 5. Atlanta Falcons cornerback Jalen Collins will be suspended for 10 games of the 2017 NFL season for a second violation concerning performance-enhancing drugs, or PEDs. Collins stood to earn $928,440 this year. With his suspension, his earnings will be dwindled down to $382,299. And that's still too much.
And Uncle Sam's gonna get half of that too. So I mean, really, you really fucked yourself over bad.
You know, you do it once and you think, okay, you know what, I did it once. I'm not going to do it again because they came down on me pretty hard the first time. Nope, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do it a second time. I mean, that's just,
He might not have a choice. He probably had to do it to keep his job. The NFL is ruthless, man. They tell you not to do that shit, and then you turn around and have to do it because it's your job.
All right, guys, that is the lightning round.
Good lightning round.
I like that lightning round thing.
I'm telling you, it's 5 topics, 5 minutes. No bullshit, man.
All right, so we are finally at the last part of the show.
Correctamundo.
We have one more story left, and we always like to leave interesting stories for the end.
Yeah, we like choosing something funny for the end, and you know, we got something pretty good for this one.
So, if you guys haven't heard about this, a Little League softball team was disqualified from the Junior League World Series, which is made up of 12 to 14-year-old girls. Atlee Little League softball team from Mechanicville, Virginia, was disqualified from the Junior League World Series due to a violation of rules concerning unsportsmanlike conduct. A Snapchat photo turned over showed the team...
There's that fucking social media again. I'm telling you, you motherfuckers don't listen. It's all bad. And here we are on Facebook Live, and I'm telling you, social media is bad, man. It's good, and it's bad. It's good for stuff like this, bad for shit like that. Understand the difference.
So
fuckers.
A Snapchat photo. Okay, you know what, badass? I need to ask you this, because, you know, I'm a little older than you. I'm about, 8, 9 years older than you?
You got 8 years on me.
I have 8 years on you. What the hell is Snapchat?
You're asking the wrong guy. I don't have Snapchat. It's where millennials go to do bad shit that they're not supposed to.
Okay, because I've never heard of... I've heard of Snapchat, but I've never been on it. I've heard the youngins talk about Snapchat, but I've never actually been on Snapchat.
Apparently, this is how Snapchat works because Alan from my used-to-be job at Skins, another plug, there you go, Skins, there's your free plug. Alan showed me how this is done, and you take pictures and then you put a little caption in there and you send it. And apparently after it's looked at, unless you screenshot it, it's gone, like it disappears. But that doesn't mean it. Trust me, if you send something to somebody, it's there. And if it's on the internet, forget it. It's there forever. And all I know is that Snapchat is good for ruining relationships, one, ruining relationships, two, and being a whore, which, again, ruining relationships. So, I'm sorry. I ain't seen nothing good come of Snapchat. Sorry.
I don't know what Snapchat is, so I'm pretty much dumb to the whole situation. But apparently a Snapchat photo was turned over that showed the team giving the middle finger posed with a post, "Watch out, host," attached. This was reference to the host team of the tournament, Kirkland. Scott Curry, head coach of Adelaide softball, believes that the team was unfairly punished, stating in the media he believes the punishment did not fit the crime. It is noted that upon finding out about the post, Curry deleted all known forums of it and made the team apologize to Kirkland team for the inappropriate behavior.
So he did the right thing. The man found out about it, and from what I understand, it's one of one of his team members turned the photo over to him, and he deleted all the copies he could possibly find of it, and then made his team apologize to that team. That should kind of have been the end of it right there, but because you got people who are stickler for rules, they got booted out of the whole thing, which I get it, I do, but, it comes to a point, are you crossing the line? Are you going a little too far? Are you really, what are you really teaching people? You know what I mean?
To me, the whole thing goes back on something that I've been saying for now, probably this is the 40th episode. I've been saying probably since about the 4th or 5th episode. Everybody has to be held accountable for what they do. Whether it's physical action, non-physical action, social media, anything like that, you have to be held accountable for what you do. So if you go on social media, you bash somebody, like, let's say I go on and I decide, you know what, WBLZ pisses me off and I go and bash them. Well, guess what? There's going to be a consequence to that. They're probably going to kick me off of WBLZ and tell me that I can never come back again because of what I said.
There's consequences
to actions. You're going to get in trouble for whatever you do. And like Badass said, when you put it on social media and you put it on the internet and it gets out there, guess what? It's out there for everybody to see. Everybody's going to see with that. And now it's going viral. Of course, because, everybody's heard what happened. And, of course, the state that we live in, everybody just blows up the situation bigger than what it really is.
Oh, no, they definitely do that.
So, what do we take away from all this? Is it really the kids being kids, or is it, they have to be held accountable for their actions?
I can actually answer this really easily because this happened to me when I was in Little League. I actually got kicked out. I didn't get kicked out of the game. The game in which it happened, I was not ejected from the game. I want you to note this for this story, okay? Note that in your head. We were playing a game with our regular teams. The opposing coach comes screaming out of his dugout trying to have me thrown out of the game because I apparently, in front of not only 2 umpires, 2 coaches on the other side of the field, my entire team, and the entire bleachers watching the game. I want you to understand this. Apparently, I somehow got a middle finger off, extended it, and kept it there for a good 5 seconds in front of everyone, and no one saw me do this. Only the coach saw me do this. Only the coach. And I want you to understand something. No one else saw me do this. His man's screaming about how I'm flipping his players off. Okay? I can understand why he would do that because I guess me and him didn't get along from previous years of coach. I don't know what his beef was. I don't know if he didn't want me on Traveling All-Stars because I know that was the end result. Because the end of that year, when they tallied up all the stats and they were, talking about the thing, they told me that I couldn't make Traveling All-Stars because this man said my character was crap because of this supposed phantom middle finger that I flipped off in front of 100 people and no one saw it but him. But that's what I'm getting to, is that this man's bullshit cost me an all-star trip over some bunk. So, but these bitches actually got caught doing it. So, with Burger, you did it, take your medicine. Yes, it's extreme, but hey, rules are rules, right?
And I think it doesn't matter whether you're 13, 14-year-old or you're an adult. If you put on something on social media and it affects something as big as that and it causes an issue, then guess what? You have to get punished for it.
Be ready for the fallout.
So, all right, guys. Well, that is going to be our show. Episode 40 is in the book. We had a lot to talk about. MLB update, NFL update, NCAA football, lightning round, and Little League baseball. So we had a lot to talk about.
And we would like to remind everybody out here watching us right now, we are not Vegas guys, okay?
We're just two guys from South Carolina.
Making our picks.
And doing what we love.
That's it.
No bunkum, no bullshit.
No credit cards at the D. We don't hang out with Mafia and Pharrell. We wish we did.
I wish I did.
Believe me.
I'd love to hang out with them for a weekend.
That'd be awesome, but we don't. We're working class cats.
So, you guys definitely check us out. Many places to check us out now. We're at WBLZsports.com. We're there Thursday nights from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. We're also there Saturday morning from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. You also can check out our live feed that we are doing every show on Facebook Live at www.theburgerandbadassshow at facebook.com. You can also check us out on YouTube at www.theburgerandbadassshow at youtube.com. And you also can check us out on Thursday nights from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. and 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. on Saturdays on TuneIn Radio.
That's right. Remember, WBLZ. We got the balls.
We got balls, guys. So that's going to be our show for the night. We appreciate everybody that showed up for us. Jumped in, commented, said hello.
Yeah, thank you to my wife. Thank you to Pyle, cousin Mikey, Jamie, Sarah.
Thank you, Rob, and Glenn again for the camera. Dude, this thing is fucking amazing.
We do appreciate all the support.
So that's our show for tonight. We'll be back next Wednesday to talk a little bit about more sports. Badass, do you have something to add to this before we get the hell out of here for the night?
Hey, I tell you what I'm going to give you, Snakes. I'm going to give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no-good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead.
All right, Johnny, I'm sorry. I'm going.
1, 2, 10. Keep the change, you filthy animal.
All I want is Raj. I don't really care if you cry. I don't really shouldn't ever lie. Should've saw the way she looked me in my eyes. She said, baby, I am not afraid to die. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. Phantom, that's alright. Inside all white. Like something you ride a sled. I just want that head. My brain, I'm mad. Her brain, her man, no. Everybody got the same sweat, no. All the way that I chat, no. Stacking my bands all the way to the top. All the way to my bed falling, no. Every time that you leave your spot, your girlfriend call me like, come on, no. I like the way that she treat me, gon' leave you, won't leave me, I call it.